So today we're going to look at some fake news, and not to revel in it or take any joy in it because war is terrible, but to emphasize the point just how fake our news is. And it's not just in war, it's that fake all of the time. Now, if the Western mainstream media is to be believed, the only reason Russia hasn't run away with its tail tucked between its legs is because their soldiers are too stupid to find reverse on their own tanks. However, some of the stories on the ground tell a very different story. Now, I want to talk to you about an article you might have seen, you might not, about Redditors. A bunch of leftists got together and thought, we're going to go over to Ukraine and we're going to make a difference. We're going to fight for sodomy. And then we'll look at that, and we'll look at what our media tells us, and then we can kind of look at the boots on the ground reality of what these people are saying once they get there. So for the past few weeks, you've probably been seeing stories like this. 16,000 foreign mercenaries are going to fight on Kiev's side against the Russians. And they look so awesome, too. Look at those sunglasses. So these stunning and brave soldiers are being offered upwards of $2,000 per day to fight against Russia. Oh man, you're gonna be rich. Go over there, it'd be like a little Call of Duty, come back, you're a hero. And look, now it's swelled to 20,000 mercenaries, and they look so cool. They've got like walkie-talkies, and clearly that's some sort of, weapons battery there that you go and you get to use all this advanced technology, even though you're a fat, hot pocket, Hearthstone playing Reddit jockey. This is you, man. This is what they're going to do. They're just going to welcome you. You're going to be fully outfit, top of the line, First World Army kit, top level communications, just like go from random keyboard warrior to special forces in an afternoon. You're going to be totally decked out. I mean, look at this. We even have this ultra-handsome U.S. Candidate for Congress, Democrat, of course, who's quitting his campaign to go fight. We're going to fight, Like boxing? What's fighting like? What's that mean, fight? It's been a long time since we've seen a real war as Americans, right? I mean, we had some sandbox stuff, but relatively speaking, the number of people that have direct experience with armed conflict is pretty small. And we see even the president, Voldemort Zelensky, how do you say that? Zelensky, a comedian and actor, every time. He's fighting on the front. A president that fights on the front line. It's about time. We got you got to go back practically to the ancient world before you see someone this brave, So the propaganda is thick. It's deep. And the thing is, the people on the left these days in general are completely out of touch with reality. They've been living in this upside down land where you could say a man's a woman and literally destroy someone's career if they disagree with you. It's been insane. Well, the thing is, your crazy, stupid ideas eventually butt into reality. And they have consequences, and the consequences are stark and immediate. So U.S. mercenaries tell their experiences in Ukraine. It's a trap. No way to leave. Sent to Kiev with no weapons. Cutting passports. U.S. and U.K. dead, being counted as Ukrainian. What? The government faking statistics for the narrative? I don't believe it. So one Twitter video warrants, and this is on the ground, and again, the fake news is thick. This could be fake. It's hard to tell, but it's a cautionary tale.
So for any people who are wondering what is going on, alright, we were part of the Georgian National Legion, the 102nd Ukrainian Territorial Defense. Okay? Our base got fucked up. The base right next to us got fucked up. Americans, British, tons of British dead. Right? They're not saying nothing. They're counting our dead as their dead. They're trying to send us to Kiev with no fucking weapons, no kit, no fucking plates. The people who are lucky enough to get weapons are only getting magazines with like 10 fucking rounds, okay? When they wanted to send us to Kiev, we said no. Our whole group, a bunch of Americans, Canadians, British. So they told us we had to get the fuck out or they were going to shoot us in the back, right? So me, this British guy, and another American, we fucking hid in the back of an ambulance to get out. We got to the border, and it was a whole nother mess. When you get to the border, anyone who has kit, anyone who has any military shit, they're fucking pulling you out of the line and they're sending you back to the front. We got dropped off about 5 clicks from the fucking from the border, and we walked. And we get to the border, and this humanitarian group with a bunch of ex-SF veterans from England pulled us to the side and said, you need to get, like, pulled us out and fucking, like, hit us. And they were like, you need to dump all your kit. They're pulling people out, cutting up passports, sending them back. So we dumped our shit. We got, like, in all of our fucking, we got in, like, Red Cross vests, and they had, like, fucking humanitarian passes to get us through the Ukrainian border. People need to stop coming here. It's a trap, and they're not letting you fucking leave. The best way to leave is like in a Vic or a car or something. People who get out by vehicle have a better chance of hiding their fucking kit in the back, doing whatever the fuck they can, but do not try to leave Ukraine off foot if you're a volunteer. It's a mess, and it's a trap. And I have multiple people who can confirm this story for me.
And of course, as Westerners, we're used to fighting sand people with no air superiority, no long-range weapons, and of course, not dealing with a first world army. You really want to take on professional soldiers coming out of the first world? It's insane. You can see a Russian missile strike destroyed up to 180 foreign mercenaries who arrived in Ukraine from NATO countries. On the morning of March 13th, high-precision, long-range weapons struck at the training centers of the armed forces of Ukraine in the village of Starishy and the Yavorsky military training ground. As a result of the strike, up to 180 foreign mercenaries and a large consignment of foreign weapons were destroyed. The destruction of foreign mercenaries who arrived on the territory of Ukraine will be continued. Go ahead and join the Legion by all means, but be very aware of how bad Kiev is going to get, and be aware that Russians have warplanes and you will have next to nothing. Be very acceptant of the possibility of death. Those of us who left, including SF operators from multiple countries, are simply risk mitigating. No one wants to die in an unfair fight. After getting absolutely effing pummeled by massive cruise missiles today, yeah, I kind of want people to think twice before turning their life upside down to go and volunteer. He says, yes, I was here today and blown off the top of my bunk bed in the barracks by the first missile. I made a long post about it, but my posts don't show on this thread for some reason. This is where all the Foreign Legion troops are. The 35 killed were all Ukrainian, mostly due to a direct hit on their barracks next to mine. The base is destroyed, the weapons depot destroyed, possibly the end of the Legion. About 60 people with their heads on straight, including myself, left after the attack. They're sending untrained guys to the front with little ammo and shit AKs, and they're getting killed. The guys who stayed got bombed again in the afternoon, and casualties aren't clear. If you still want to join then, I'm not sure what the process will be, since literally all the infrastructure supporting the training assignments of volunteers is destroyed. The guys who are there now will all be going to Kyiv, and many will die. The Legion is totally outgunned and has a few crazy Ukrainian leaders. After the attack, one officer wanted to march everyone to Kyiv and fight. Absolute insanity. Stay home. So who's taking damage and what the numbers are an open question, but what is clear is that they are getting hit, and they are getting hit hard. In their sleep, it appears. It's interesting how brushes with our own mortality tends to sharpen what is and isn't important. No atheists in foxholes, once again. One Redditor posted, I realized that when I was laying on the ground this morning, praying to a God I don't believe in, that the next one didn't have my name on it. You quickly realize the preciousness and desire of life compared to the meaninglessness of being hit by an effing Russian missile. Yes, atheism tends to be one of those luxuries of the wealthy, the healthy, and the safe. And maybe one last sad story to drive home the immediacy of this reality. A 10-man team was nearly wiped out, 8 killed and 2 crawled away, after one guy tried shooting an AK at a Russian APC and was killed immediately. Now those 8 were hopefully lucky and it was over quick. Think about the 2 that crawled away. What was left of their bodies and what was their fate? A split second ago you were a human being and now you're a pile of hamburger. Which is why that savior that you don't believe in once said, "Live by the sword, die by the sword." You know, I sometimes wonder what fantasies these people believed that lured them into this in the first place. What lies, what imagined rewards from the puppet masters of the geopolitical stage would be rained down upon them. You want unconditional and bottomless love? Get a dog. You want to matter to people? You want to be meaningful? Look to your family. As the ancient Viking poet Havamal once said, "A son is better, though late begotten, of an old and ailing father. Only your kin will proudly carve a memorial at the main gate." Look to the actual, real relationships in your lives today for some sort of meaning or fellowship. Not on some Instagram page for likes and subscribes, where you post your brave deeds and a giant digital target on your back for incoming Russian missile strikes.